I just want to say one last thing about esteem, okay? And I did some little research on that and just looked it up. And esteem is actually a value. It is an estimate of something. And when we talk about self-esteem, we're actually talking about a value. When we look at what the definition of self is, it talks about interest. And I thought that it was really interesting that when I looked up the word interest, to have interest in something requires you to have a feeling about it. So self-interest means that you have to have a feeling about yourself, one that allows you to give yourself a value, which is an esteem. So when we define ourselves as something that when we think about our name or when we look ourselves in the mirror, that we automatically go into a discomforting feeling, it is the foundation for addiction. Now you want to know why people are addicts? That is why. It is because when they think about themselves based on the definition, the value, the esteem that they have assigned themselves, they automatically go into pain, and to get out of the pain, they use a substance or an activity. Now see, you have to understand how much low self-esteem there is on the planet. So it has nothing to do with whether you're driving a big car or you wear $100,000 suits, if there's such a thing. It has something to do with the fact that when you look in the mirror or you recite your name to yourself, you automatically go into pain because the value of what you think you are does not make you comfortable. Now this is all self-inflicted. It has nothing to do with nothing outside of you. So if you decide that being a black man in America is a horrible thing, then obviously every day you wake up, you got to do something about the pain. Oh, but this is real serious. You've got to do something about the pain. So therefore, when I wake up and recognize that my name is Joe Blow and I'm a black man in America and I don't have this, and I don't have that, and I don't have the other, then it's like, yes, where's the pipe? Where's the marijuana, etc., and we'll sit this day out. That's exactly what's happening all over this country. It is because the perception of these individuals is such that they create their own emotional pain and they want out. So now the treatment is not obviously gathering up all the pipes and getting rid of all the cocaine and marijuana, because the people are still in pain because they still are perceiving themselves in less than an ideal way that creates a discomfort in the emotional body. So the treatment has to be to ask these individuals to redefine themselves and give themselves a different value system. It's real simple. So why would a person think that being a black man in America is a problem? Now, I mean, we should just literally dissect that. Why would that be a problem? Do you know anybody cranking out black men in a meal? Of course not, because it is a divine state of existence. Only the Creator makes those. Which means then that if that's where it comes from, it has the characteristics and attributes of the source. Which means that being a black man in America means that you are a divine entity. Now, understanding what that means now goes into your own value of what the Creator would be. Because if that means that now you have dominion over the planet, that you have the capacity to do anything that you so put your mind to, etc., now that puts you into a whole different reflection of self. So you don't have to sit up and beg anybody and tell them that you need certain gratuities or, I can't think of the name of this stuff that they use for going to college and all this other stuff. You don't need these crutches, because when you understand that you're a manifestation of the Creator, you can learn anything you want to and any time you want to and apply it. So you don't have to apologize for this. Being a black woman, I mean, this is the same issue. Well, I'm a black woman, so that means da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, obviously, when she overeats or when she's actually smoking drugs herself or marijuana, or she's basically a workaholic because she thinks that working 24 hours is going to make her a better person, or she's got to play the lotto every day, or whatever else this is. All of this is because her esteem of self is less than what the body and the emotional body knows that it should be. So taking away the lotto, firing her off her job, whatever else the situation, none of that treats the problem. It is the fact that she has to redefine who she is, change her name, or give herself a broader definition of self and be able to actualize that. But the idea that something divine now having to be apologized for that's inadequate is totally a problem. And you have to understand the women maintain an industry, $18 billion a year in straightening their hair. Now, see, you have to understand that is a real problem because, first of all, it totally takes her out of her elements that she needs to be able to be here on the planet. You can't stay in the sun. You can't be in the rain. You can't be in the wind. You need sun and water and wind. So what do we have here? We have an addiction. That is an addictive process. So if you wanted to equate the crack pushers and the hair salons on the block, they were probably of the same number. And we have to deal with that. Now, there's no Koreans, anybody else, or whoever's making this synthetic hair, that definitely is like what the Creator has given you. So the key is that there is a self-imposed low esteem that causes these individuals to go through this discomfort on a regular basis. It's discomforting. You should see what they go through in these hair salons to get that stuff done. It's discomforting, and there's no need of lying about it. And as like I said, it's unnatural. You cannot be your natural self and sustain it. So therefore, it's like that automatically takes you out into a different element. And I learned that a long time ago, and I just really had to let that go. So I had to redefine myself. I had to move into a different awareness of what I meant to myself and why that was not going to be an issue in my life, because I felt that if I could not face myself as how I was created, it was a personal problem that really meant that there was always going to be a block between me and whatever I tried to relate to. So now we have the same issue with our relationship with our children. It's not a sincere one because we don't even come to them being ourselves. We have this problem with the relationships with our men because we don't come to them being ourselves. I have some women that tell me that their husband ain't never seen their real hair. I mean, you know, so I mean, that's incredible. So I mean, what is he really loving? I mean, what is he really with? You know, that this kind of limitation or esteem of self is extremely dangerous. And when a person withholds from themselves to that extent, how are they going to really give you their best? They lie every time they say they love you. How can they when they don't love themselves? And we need to stop really playing these games. This is what causes the diseases that we have. And we cannot look to anybody but ourselves to treat them. So, you know, as I see these huge institutions propping up here talking about they're the hospitals and they can give you a new arm and somebody's liver and somebody's leg and whatever else, etc., it is totally unnecessary because you can regenerate any part of your body. And the proper thing to do is give you the information so you can access that part of your brain so that it can regenerate. But the idea that you're going to go in the garbage can and get somebody's dead body in the grave and put that inside yourself, totally no esteem. A lizard won't even do that. They recognize they can crawl off and get a new leg and a new tail. They don't need to go to the lizard graveyard, if there's such a thing, and get somebody else's. So here you are with a huge brain that has the capacity to put airplanes in the sky, space stations, and you're going to crawl off and get a dead carcass and put it in your body? There is a real problem, and nobody should be able to sell you any madness like that. They're going around here collecting blood, and I'm like, for what? Everybody makes their own every day.